Joehoul here with all the scavenging locations in the Cadavanaugh region of Gutgash's territory. We'll start down here in the south end, where we'll find our first piece of scrap of 2, and they're just sitting in that little tent. Next one's to the far west. Have to go in this little shipping container, pummel a few guys, and you'll find a project part right in the back left corner. That's for the scrap crew. Piece of scrap right beside it, and a history relic on the ground where those guys were chomping on a dead body. Hey look, it's a skull. And that's that for that location.
What was morbid then would be benevolent now.
Just to the northeast of that, you'll find your next location. It's just in this little camp. First piece of scrap will be on your left in the white tent. Next one's at the very far back end by the shuttered door. And there's one just sitting in front of this tent under a pile of rolled up mattresses. We'll head even further northeast from the last area. After you kill everybody out front, you can come on in here. There's nothing on the right hand side. You can see I went through all that. It's all stacked over on the left. So I found the history relic first, right down the end of this hallway, in front of the toilet. Well, I guess the toilet throne. And then in the little shack in front of that, there's a piece of scrap. And then in this lockbox over here, we got another piece of scrap. Now we're just heading east, where you'll find a sealed hole in the ground in this old rotted out boat. You have to beat a few guys up down here, but you'll find the one piece of scrap that you need in this area pretty easily. It's right in the back right corner. Now heading a bit more southeast, in the northeast corner of the zone, you'll find this little cave, which looks empty, but there's a little area you can sneak through. First thing you'll find on the ground is this history relic. Picture a kid with a snowman. Snowmen in Australia. What a world.
I can't remember the innocence.
I just did a little cut there so you don't have to watch me fight all those guys. You'll find your first piece of scrap on the right side of the room, and the second piece in the far left corner.
Who was this guy?
There's also a project part down here sitting right in front of the little throne. It's the maggot farm project part. This next place is on the very north side of the zone. This is the camp that has 2 entrances. I'm using the top entrance. Coming in through the bottom, you can do the exact same thing but in reverse. Find the first piece of scrap in a locked box in a little room on the left if you're coming in from the top. Then we'll cross that suspension bridge, and on the right there's another piece of scrap just inside that door. I cut a bunch of fighting out here. And if you drop down, you'll find your third piece of scrap just sitting out in the open, right beside a car body. What's this car body called again? The Death Rattle. And there's the 4th piece of scrap, just right beside it. Heading south from there to the very center of this zone.
Oh, here it comes.
There's a rotted out ship with a little camp in it. You'll find the first piece of scrap outside. Second piece of scrap just on the inside. That's that for that little area. Heading south from there, we go to the next vantage outpost. I don't know if these count towards the achievement, but I always include them just because they still have some collectibles in them. First thing you'll find upon entering is the history relic with a picture of a guy serving at a bar, I believe, or eating at a restaurant. And then right beside it is the piece of scrap. Next, we're heading south. We'll come upon this little
Stay
camp
put.
built into the wall of the cliff. This first piece of scrap is just right out front. You'll go in, head up the stairs. I'll have to fight a few guys. I cut out some more fighting up here. Just notice a few more dead bodies. After you get to the very top of the cliff, you'll find the second piece of scrap on your left. If you keep heading through that little area, you'll actually find a hood ornament. So that's a little bonus. Then when you come back out, hook a right, you'll find this lockbox out hanging over the cliff. If you crack it open, you'll find your last piece of scrap in there. Next, we're heading to the far southeast corner, where you'll come upon a little tent like built into the side of a broken ship. You'll find the project part in there for the scrap crew, and then right across from it, you'll find a piece of scrap. Next, we're heading a little bit north of there. You'll come to this little camp with a few guys to fight in it, and a history relic just inside on the right. And then in the tent right beside it, you'll find a piece of scrap. And in the tent across from it, you'll find a piece of scrap. Anyways, that's all the scavenging locations in Cadavanaugh. Thanks for watching.
Tell them to subscribe! Point somewhere for them to click, Birdie! Oh!